Welcome to another episode of Relationship Essentials. We're excited to bring you essentials that you need to build and sustain a healthy relationship. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, leave us a good rating, leave a comment in the pictures in the episodes, and don't be afraid to repost some of our reels. Help us get this message of positivity out to as many people as we can. All right, so I'm excited. I have two amazing guests here again today to talk about today's topic. Today's topic is things that men do that they think is attractive, but is a turn-off for women. And I have two amazing boss chicks out here to talk about it. I have Juliet. She's the founder and host of the Cook with JAmoah. JAmoah, right? And I have Miss Chidi Goodnews Nkama, right? She's the one of the CEOs of Chidi Fashion and the founder of Goodnews for Scholars Fund. So I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about himself before we start this spicy conversation about things that men think is attractive, but it's a turn off. So go ahead, ladies.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the introduction. Yes, my name is Juliet. So I am the host of Cooking with JAmoah Speaks. It's a YouTube channel, and I also have a podcast called JAmoah Speaks. Aside from that, I'm also an executive producer and an actress in an upcoming film called Lisa, so be on the lookout for that. And I just do a whole bunch of other creative fun stuff. So I'm excited to be here and to talk about this because this is a good topic. So I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Goodnews, and good news. Stick with the good news. Don't let him confuse you. It's good news. And I'm one of the co-owners of Chidi Fashion. It's an Afro modern boutique. And also recently I started a nonprofit that is called, well, it was formerly called the Good Samaritan Fund, but that name was not available. So we're switching to Good News to Scholars Foundation. It's really about helping high students transition from high school to college, be that providing mentorship, scholarships, whatever the case might be. And I'm excited to be here.
All right. So today's episode is things that men do that they think is attractive, but for y'all women is a turnoff. The guys, we did an episode with the guys shared a lot. So I'm sure, because every time we do these episodes, you will have people on Instagram say, why is the guy always trying to tell women what to do in a relationship? Well, this is your opportunity to tell men what to do as far as, how to deal with y'all. All right, so anybody that wants to go first? I'm going to do a lot of listening, on behalf of the guys. I'm probably going to rebut her, ask questions, ask for clarifications.
Yeah.
I'm going to, make sure you guys don't kill us. So something men do that they think is attractive.
This is a good one. And again, we're not speaking for everybody, just kind of like what we think as well. I think for me personally, and I know from a lot of my girlfriends that I've, spoken to, one thing that I do think that guys do that they think is attractive is when they kind of just do like anything you want them to, or like just kind of like yes, like, oh, where do you want to go out to dinner? Oh, wherever you want to go.
Yes, man.
Or like, oh, what do you want to do tomorrow? I don't know, whatever you want to do, baby, it's whatever you like. I like what you like, like that type of kind of like you don't have a mind of your own. Like, I think that's very unattractive because it's like you feel like you're doing it just to impress me because you think that's what I like, as opposed to you being yourself and me liking you for who you are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that you should try to change just because I like this, then all of a sudden you like it too. Well. It's like, that's corny to me. Like, if you don't like it, just be like, yo, babe, I really don't like Thai food. But if you want to go, I'll go because I know you want to go, right? So things like that, but don't say like, I like Thai food because you like Thai food. Like, that to me is not. You be your own person, but still be flexible, you know what I mean? And open-minded to whatever your woman wants to do. So I think for me.
Would this apply to the statement that nice guys finish last?
No, so I actually no, that's a good and that's a misconception. And I know growing up for me, I like the bad boys, the boys that look
like the bad boys.
Not that bad, not that bad. I'm not right or
They're more
die.
interesting.
I'm not right or die.
They are more interesting.
But
I think that's what we're thinking in our head.
Like
we
they're
want interesting
more
people.
like they're gonna be the one to.
So you want someone that will like spice it up a little bit, tell you sit down.
No, not
like that. You mean like a bad.
I was joking.
they'll come in.
I mean, it depends when you're saying it, but I feel like it's a balance. You want somebody that has a mind of their own.
So
I think that's very sexy.
A
leader, but not controlling.
Not
that controlling thing.
right.
Is
So what is the
big
difference
turn
between leadership and controlling?
So I feel like a leadership, you're taking into consideration, kind of like what you guys had mentioned on the other episodes as well, right? Like the man, I get it, he's the head. But I always say the man may be the head, but the woman is the neck, right? So without your neck, you're not going nowhere. You know what I mean? The head might have the eyes, the nose, everything, but the neck is also very valuable. So as a leader, we're working together. I understand you are the head, but we work in partnership as opposed to I'm dictating to you what to do. I'm not your child. Even your child, I don't think you should be go do. You should be able to communicate in a healthy way, but I think a lot of men are not good leaders. Some are, but the ones that are not good leaders, they see controlling as me being a leader. You're not submitting, but you're not a good leader. And people will submit to a good leadership. If they understand the mission, I will understand to submit. But if you yourself, you're not sure, your clarity is not good, you're not aligned to God, then how am I going to trust you to lead our family?
All right. I agree.
So I think, I honestly believe for both men and women, understanding the distinction between leadership and controlling is so important, because sometimes what men look at a woman that doesn't let them boss them around as, oh, she's not submissive.
Right.
Whereas it's not that she's not submissive, because for me, I believe submission comes with leadership, right? And leadership comes with direction, right? I always say the word leadership can be broken down to two words: leader and a sheep. And a sheep is going in a certain destination. And if a woman shouldn't submit to a man that is going to lead her to the wrong place, And this is what I also advise women. Yeah, you want a man that's going to lead you, and you honestly are going to submit to a man that leads you to the right place, and you're going to fight a man that is not leading you to the right place. So what my problem with women is, y'all go and date the man going in the wrong direction, and y'all want to stir him in the right direction.
They be catfishing. That's the thing. They catfishing. Okay. They come holier than thou in the beginning, they know scripture. After they have baited you, and you too, you want to be loyal. That's when it's boom. Give me
an example.
Okay, so I feel like speaking for myself, but I feel like there's some guys maybe I've dated before, and in the beginning, they give you what they think you like, because maybe you've said, and that's why don't even say what you like anymore. Don't tell them anymore what you're looking for. I'm looking for what God has for me. That's it. Because people will try to be what you say. So that's you giving information. You just come as you are. Let me assess you. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. So I feel like in the beginning, some people, they come off oh, I go to church too. Yeah, I read the Bible, do all these things. You start to like them. Over some time, then you start to see, now that you are kind of invested in them, then they let their guard down, and then you start to see their true colors, that they're very controlling or very manipulative. And that's when it's wait a minute, is it just me? Is it an attack on my, you're trying to figure it out and still be loyal in the relationship, but now you see that, do I really want to continue on with this? Do I not want to do this anymore? So I think it's important that people should be themselves from the jump. I know people don't like that concept, but you need to show who you are from the beginning. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. It's not that serious.
Okay, the only thing I'll say, I do agree with you that I do believe people should be themselves. 100%. I do agree with that. But when you date someone, right? Let's say I'm dating a girl, a woman, and I will always be myself, but naturally if I like someone and there's something that I believe, because remember, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement.
Yes.
Right? So how do we create that distinction of, all right, this is me just trying to be a better person? Because part of being there's nobody that's perfect for you.
Of course.
Right? Everybody you meet will have to learn to love you the way you want to be loved.
Yes.
So is that them being weak by saying, okay, you know what? Her love language is words of affirmation. And for me, as an African man, maybe the way I have been brought up, the kind of structure and family, we didn't express ourselves as much. me not learning to affirm her with words as much as I can, is that me not being myself, or is that me saying, you know what, this is the growth opportunity. So how do we differentiate between growth opportunities for your partner and them just, you know, bending to be whatever you want them to be? How do we create that distinction?
Yeah.
What you're saying can come off as, all right, be yourself and let me make that decision. But I could get better, so you can also want to be with me.
So I always have this theory, right? Like how you meet someone, right? Like if they never ever change, will you be okay marrying them that way? And that's something somebody told me a long time ago, and it really stuck with me. It doesn't mean the person is perfect. You have to pick your poison. Everybody got a poison. So it's like, let me just see the whole, and I know we all put our best foot forward, but let me just see who you are, because maybe through me seeing who you are, if I know that there's a flaw of yours, and I'm okay with willing to work through, and you too, you also acknowledge that, oh, I have this issue, like, and I see that, you know what, this relationship is worth it. I see it's a God-led relationship, but you're struggling with something. I'm also struggling with something. Let's work at it together. But if you have this mindset that this is me, I don't have anything wrong with me, and like you're naive to the fact that you need help, and you want me to stay and endure that, then I'm a bad person if I do. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we have to be mindful. Like, you have to be flexible that I'm not perfect. Maybe my husband may not like certain things. And I'm like, you know what? Let me take into consideration. I can change maybe the way I say things. Maybe I'm a little sharp. Maybe I'm, you know, I can be better. That's helping me, as opposed to like just criticizing me and just like, oh, you need to do this, da 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 da. But then also you gotta do something right. It's like if you're grown adults, no one is perfect, but like we both come together to be better, right? But if one person feels like the other person needs to do all the work and you don't need to do all the work because I'm also not showing you my true flaws, then it's like we need to be real. That's the thing. People are not being real, and that's when you get into the marriage and it's like, oh my God, I didn't know he was like this, or I didn't know she was like this, and you didn't pay attention to the red flags. We only pay attention to the good stuff. The bad stuff we just ignore, like, oh, it's okay, it will change. Pay attention to that now, because it's only gonna get worse when you get into the marriage. So if you can't deal with it now, it's gonna be 10 times when you marry. So you have to be able to say, you know what, my husband has, or my fiance has this issue. Can I really endure this? Yes, I'm willing to go through it with him because I know he can get better. But if I can't go through it, don't expect, oh, when we marry, he's gonna come to church, he's gonna do all, don't do that, because now you're forcing him. Then he starts to resent you, like you forcing me to be this person, but you met me this way.
All right, so the first turn off is men that just be whatever you want them to be. That's the turn off. All right, guys, you're listening.
Yeah.
Don't be out here, you know.
She said a couple of things. She also said controlling.
So, men that are controlling, that's a turn off.
No.
And they fake it as leadership.
Yeah.
Okay. So men that are faking control as leadership. Okay.
Yes.
Speaking with your chest. I get it.
I agree with that, because I've encountered a lot of guys that are like that. I think men really need to work on their leadership.
Yeah.
Controlling is not leadership. I think when women speak up, because I'm a very outspoken person, if you do wrong, I'm going to tell you did wrong. Right?
But how you say it matters though.
Of course.
Say it, but how you
I'm not going to say it like that, but I would speak up. And I think a lot of guys take that as not being submissive.
Right.
And which is why we have this mislabeled that independent women are not submissive. We just speak up when we need to speak up. So I think men need to work on that leadership skill and not mask it on the...
To interrupt you, maybe I can help you guys out. I'm going to throw one out there. So a man that doesn't feel like he's wrong, that is never wrong.
Oh, that's so bad.
That was the second thing that she mentioned that I really like. I feel like a lot of time in relationship, it's always the woman that has the mindset of, I can do something better. Most guys don't think they have any flaws. They think they're perfect. They don't do anything wrong, or they don't have anything that they need to work on, which is a lie. Like, we're all human, we're imperfect. So if I'm coming in knowing that there are things that I struggle with, you also have to be cognizant of that you have things that you struggle with as well. Because you can only work on something that you know is a problem. So if you don't see it as a problem, you're never gonna work on it, and you're never gonna be better at it.
You know, and this is for the guys. And it's so disgusting when I hear guys think like this. And the unfortunate part is, a lot of guys in the church think like this. Some men believe that men and women are not equal, right? We've heard people say things like like I've heard people say things like, oh, God created man in the image, and God then took the rib out of Adam and created a woman. And
or the woman was not the original plan of God.
Original, all right. So I feel like for me, that's such a misrepresentation of what that scripture teaches. It says God created man, male and female, right? So I think the big problem is this, that men don't feel the need to admit they're wrong, especially to their woman, because they just believe, I'm better than her. I am superior to her. So once you think you're superior, admitting that you are wrong, it comes up as you are weak. But men need to realize that you not knowing it all, you making mistakes, you not being perfect is absolutely fine. As a matter of fact, I believe it takes strength to admit when you are wrong than to just stick to, oh, I'm right. I know, like, so most men don't ever apologize, and that is such a turn off. I could, you know?
Yeah, that's a big one, and I think if you think about it, like, I think a big turn off in general, just people that are arrogant, right? Like, you just feel like, I know everything. But then you really don't know everything. You know, I always say, nobody does. You shouldn't be the smartest person in the, like, how do you, like, I feel like you should always be a student of life. Like, you should always want to learn. You can learn from a 2-year-old. You can learn from an older person. Like, if you have a mindset that, you know what, I am always going to allow God to use whoever to teach me a lesson, especially the person I'm with. You know more about me. So if you're telling me something in love, I should take heed to it. Like, maybe this person isn't trying to come and bash me, but maybe there's an area that no one has ever mentioned that this person is seeing that I need to work on my temper, because maybe my temper can lead me to do something stupid. So a lot of times when people are telling you to work on things, it's not because it's like, oh, I'm hating on you because you got a bad attitude. Maybe the way they come across can be a bit like you get defensive. But if you're, a woman is saying like, babe, I think the way you say things can be a bit harsh. She's also thinking about her children. Maybe how you're talking to me, you might talk to our kids that way. You talk, so it becomes a domino effect of like, if I, your wife to be, cannot tell you certain things that will help you, then that means no one can tell you.
Else can tell you. Right.
That means you should marry yourself.
Yeah, I mean, again, it starts from that place where if they don't think you're equal to them,
that's true,
then they don't feel like they should be listening. Yeah, they don't.
But then you need a woman. Like how? So then how are you gonna have your own children? Then have your own, do your own. Like we all need people. So I think anybody that feels like very prideful, and that's also a spirit of Satan. Like he was very proud. He was very proud. That's why he got kicked out. You know what I mean? So you have to be mindful. If you are a man of God and you're saying that God is your father, you need to reflect his characteristics. I need to see the fruit. And
it's also the way that they think. How you have some women that think that they don't need a man.
Right.
You also have some guys that don't think they need a woman. They feel like they're doing women a favor by being with them.
Right.
So that reflects in how they treat them.
Or they look at women as a child-bearing machine.
Right, and that's another thing too.
She's just here to, give birth to children.
And I will say though, to that point too, that thing that women, I don't like that whole thing where girls like, I'm Sister Soldier. Me, I'm not Sister Soldier. I need a man. You need a man. Okay, let's be real.
Sister
like
Soldier.
that thing, I don't.
I've heard that one before, but it's okay.
I'm not that type of girl. Like,
we are letting you lingo today.
Please,
Sister
yes,
Soldier.
carry my bags. Open the door. I can hold it too. It's okay. I like that. Like I feel like some women, they put on this thing like, I don't need a man, but then at home you crying. Like don't do that. Like don't do that. Like be real. Yes, you are an independent woman. You can do your own things. It's nice if your guy wants to do things for you. It doesn't take away your ability.
Believe
as a
you
woman.
me, it's better to spend somebody else's money.
I'm telling you, bring
it always feels better to, regardless of how much you have.
As a man, I also agree that it's better to spend somebody else's money.
You see, and I don't like it's
cards. You take mine, I take yours. That will feel better.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's keep going. Do you guys find a man that doesn't cry as a turn off?
It depends on the type of crying. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So do you find a man that cries too much as a turn off?
I'm so sorry. God forgive me, but
I think extreme.
It's just.
Is a turn off.
So you guys want us to be expressive and emotional, but when we're crying like baby figure is a turn off?
I think it depends on why. Obviously, if you experience a loss, I can understand that.
Right.
So how should we cry when we're like she should just be like,
anyhow you want to cry when you experience a loss.
So we can express. Okay.
I understand that. But if it's like for something little and you're bawling your eye out, like you're watching a movie.
I'm sorry. Can't cry during the movies,
and
but women can.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't cry. I think the cry have to range.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Oh,
it has to be appropriate to what's going on. Like
right. Like it needs to make sense.
I don't.
It's emotional. I actually know. True story. I have a friend of mine that told me he was bawling watching a Chinese movie. I was confused.
I'm sorry.
I didn't get it.
Was he understanding?
Yeah, he was watching the subtitles. So you're telling me that would be a turnoff?
I'll be looking at you kind of way.
Yeah, I would look at, that crying thing, like you said, it has to make sense.
Okay, you guys are confusing us because y'all want men to be expressive and show their emotions.
But make it
when they show emotions, is it turnoff?
Like, I don't want you to...
when they show, I just say when it don't make sense.
Yeah, like when it's random.
Not appropriate.
Like you just be like,
then,
babe, it's just like, what is it? Like, it's like, why are you crying? What is it? Why? It's like, I think... And I agree to that point because it can seem a little misleading, right? Like we want guys to, yes, be emotional, show that side. But if you're overly, like I don't like people that's clingy, right? Like that clingy thing where it's like, oh, baby, I need you. You need God. Like, like that's who you really need, Jesus. Like I am here, but like I don't want people to be like, oh, why did you pick up my FaceTime? Like, that to me is like something is wrong. You are too dependent on somebody. That's not a good sign either. That means if I leave you or something happens, I don't know, So I think it has to make sense.
So a clingy man, a man that's clingy,
that thing
is a turnoff.
That's a turnoff. Even clingy friends, I think that's a turnoff too. Like people that just always.
You have to be able to do your own stuff.
Yeah, like I want you to.
It also ties into personality. I personally couldn't handle.
Right, but at the same time, I don't want it to be like, oh, I don't want to hold your hand. Like you want a guy to be like, mushy gushy, cute. Like I think that's cute.
Let me ask you guys a question. I've heard a couple of people say this. Like there's some guys. Like they call him the pretty boy, like they're on Instagram, they're on the mirror, is that a turnoff?
Big time. If it takes you longer to get ready, then I don't like that. I think personally, I like a guy that takes care of himself, right? Like that hygiene, that's a big thing. Like if you smell, you don't do certain things like your nails. I'm looking at all those little things, right? But at the same time, I think if a guy is too, I don't like people that's too conceited. Like, yeah, I gotta look. Like, you can look good, but if it's just becoming too vain, then I feel like, are you hiding behind some type of insecurity or something? Like, what's going on here? That's just me.
I have the opposite feeling then. I don't care. Whatever you
So you would date a pretty boy?
I would.
I like a lot, I like a guy with a little typo. He got a little something wrong with him.
You got a little something wrong with you?
No, like he got like a little eye. Like, it's something. Like, I like the little, like not too cute. Like a little.
Why not?
I don't know. I just like, I don't like, I feel like a guy shouldn't be looking so pretty. Like, I don't know. I think he can be handsome, but I like when he has like a little quirkiness to him or something, a little chip to a little, like something.
Really?
Like I find it cute.
Wouldn't that be insecurity on your part?
No, because I find it's beautiful. Like, I think that what people would see...
So you don't want him to be prettier than you?
No, he can be pretty. Like, I want him to look good, of course. But I just feel like as a man, like, be... Like, kind of what the point someone had made earlier, too, about just being, like, masculine. Like, I like a guy... So one thing, another turn off, actually, to segue.
So he has to look like he has been to the farm. And he has done plantation.
No.
He's been through some stuff.
I just don't like guys that are too...
Pretty.
Yeah, that gives me a little, like... I don't know, like you're not my sister. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want it to be like,
Your choice of words is hilarious. Sister Soja.
Like, I want a guy that's like, you are the guy. Like, you know what I mean? Look like, come on.
So what if it's pretty, but it's still like handy and all that?
Oh yeah, like, I mean, when you say pretty, like, I mean, do you mean like, because when I'm thinking about pretty boy, I have this 90s mindset of what the boys, like, pretty boys used to look like. But a guy that's well-groomed and takes care of himself, I wouldn't consider that pretty boy.
Okay, let's move on from that. What else is a turn-off that men consider attractive?
For me, guys that curse.
Oh, that's a big one.
I don't. You don't?
I don't. That's a big one for me. I don't like that.
Because I've never found people that have that in common. I don't know. I
don't like that.
I just don't like that.
It's unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
And it's immature. Like, you want to be like, this. Like, it's just given, like, you can use the vocabulary without cursing. Like, I find that very
I think you should be able to speak properly.
Exactly.
And convey your feelings with appropriate words.
I agree.
Without cursing.
That's a good one. I like that. I don't curse. I don't like people that curse a lot. I mean, I have friends. I mean, we have a guy. We know that every other sentence he uses is the F word, which is, I don't understand it.
I think because I'm so used to him, I don't hear it when he says it. But like for my significant other, I just...
Okay, that's a turn off. A man that curses too much. What else? So I want the guys to get as many.
Yeah, okay, so
we need to get our men married, you know?
Amen. I think the guy, I mean, you guys probably think I'm weird, but I don't like guys that are too friendly. right?
Too
friendly.
Friendly to other female or friendly
No,
to...
just in general. They want to be Father Chris. Like, I don't like guys that are all over the place. Like, if we go somewhere, he's like, oh,
So someone that seeks attention. You don't want someone
I don't like those attention seekers. Like, he's respectful. Oh, hi, hello, how are you? You know, but he's not all over the place just running around. Like, sit down. Like, be respect. Like, you know, like,
I agree with
you know what I mean? Like, don't have everybody, you want to be everybody's friend all over the place. Like, just compose. Right. Like, I like that type of, like, grace that some men carry. That when you see them, it's like you salute them. Like, hey, he's a boss. Like, you know, like, this one, he's a boss. Don't talk to him anyhow.
Yeah, I think it's the way they carry themselves.
Yeah.
Carry yourself like somebody of value.
Exactly. Don't devalue yourself that anybody can be, oh, you go and pick that, go and do that. Like, you're a small boy. Like, you know, like, because you want to help everybody. I'm not saying don't help people, but I just think, like, there's some guys, they overly do it to make people see them as good men because I want to be, you know, and it's like, just be, you know, it's like, okay.
All right, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. All right, let's keep it going.
I think we mentioned the hygiene thing. Like, that hygiene thing, BB and the BO, that...
Especially their car.
That, the car, that is a good sign. That is a good sign to know if somebody is really clean. And I'm sorry to say,
sometimes it's deceiving.
Yeah,
I have met people that their car looks so good, but their house don't look so good.
That's true.
People that smell good and look good.
Ooh, polish on dirt.
That's
a good one. That's a very good one. Yeah, hygiene is a good one. And also another big thing that I actually encountered in a relationship is how a guy talks to his female, like, siblings or his mother. Like, that's a big thing. Like, if a guy is disrespectful to his mother, run for the hills. Or if he's disrespectful to any woman, like, I've seen it. Like,
I've heard people say things like the way he talks to the waiter, the way he talks to the waitress, the way he talks to the valet. Typically, the way he talks to people that that don't owe him anything, that can't do nothing for him, is a good sign of if
that
he's
is
respectful.
big for me.
If someone cannot be respectful to people that cannot do anything for them, don't think they will be respectful to you when they get in their emotions or when they get in their feelings. Because for me, I think on both genders, when people get angry and become disrespectful, that is a turnoff. Because like, what you're showing me is a picture of what we would look like when we get into a disagreement. How do you talk to someone that you disagree with? How do you talk to someone that you don't like, you know, or you are angry with? All of those things are a reflection of what could possibly be a reflection of me and you. So I could say, for advice for men, how you treat people, how you talk to people is a reflection of, you know, it could be a turnoff for a woman.
And also, how you defend me, I also think about.
What do you mean defend you? Like defend you?
If, let's say, for example, we were walking and somebody walked by and said something rude to me, I don't need you to chase them down and try to fight them.
Yeah, so what do you want him to do?
Just keep walking. You could say something, but I don't like people that are overly aggressive.
Okay, before they get shot, you know?
Exactly, right. Like, don't, right.
So,
like, to basically like Will Smith.
Yeah.
That would definitely, if that was,
I would just like
definitely have a conversation.
Yeah. No, I do think that's important because sometimes men feel the need
to defend your honor.
Yeah, you know, which is a noble thing, but you don't always have to like for me, if I was working with my woman, I mean, typically because I'm muscular, so people don't typically mess with me, but. Like, I've seen people try to get into a fight because they want to make a point. I'm like, yo, you honestly your woman will not lose respect for you if you avoided a...
You could just be like, babe, are you okay? And I would be like, but if you get into a fight, like, I don't know what I would do. I would be embarrassed.
Right.
And if you get into a fight and get beat up. Can you imagine?
It's like, babe, oh my God. That's like, so embarrassing.
I have to carry you home and tend to you. Like, I'm going to leave you and go home.
That's true.
That would be hilarious. If you actually want to defend your woman,
my God.
and then you end up getting beat.
I think it's like, and I agree to that point. I think there's a time, so for guys listening, like, we're not saying we don't want you to defend us. Like, if somebody says something snarky about me and I'm not there, or if I'm there, I wouldn't want you to just be sitting there like, well, you know, you could be like, yo, don't do that. Don't talk about, like, don't ever disrespect her like that. That's not okay. Then I feel like you are defending me, but not like, yo, I'm about to go. Like, come on, dude. Do not meet him outside.
So let me ask you a question, which is, I think is important, because this is something I experienced in my previous relationship. If you are wrong, do you expect your man to agree with you? even though you are wrong, or do you want him to tell you you are wrong?
Okay, that's a good one.
How? It depends on how he says it. Only because I'm a person that if you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you, but not there.
Exactly.
Maybe
But let's say it's a group
See.
and
you guys are in an argument.
let's say there's a conversation. There's
You're
a
like, no, babe, that's not right. Babe,
No,
that's not right.
see, I like loyalty. See, I'm the
You
type
don't want
person.
that?
Okay, so no.
Okay,
We're
I
on
wanna
the
hear
same
this,
team,
huh?
right? So like, if we're in a group of everybody and
Yeah.
I'm wrong, right? Like, I mean, don't be like, yo, babe, you're wrong, man. You wrong. Like, don't agree too much with them. Like, come on.
much?
Like, you know, like, if I'm wrong, like, if I'm wrong, like,
is it a turn off, or is it bad for me to say, hey, babe, I think I actually agree with them. I think you're missing a point.
that's okay. Yeah, that's
I think women
that's
sometimes
okay.
get offensive that when you don't take their side
But
in an
if
argument.
you see I'm drowning, like if you see I'm really drowning in this argument, please throw me a little bit of a lifeboat. Like don't just push me down.
How you say it.
Right.
I think because you also
Right.
want people to know that you can stand up for the truth.
Exactly.
That
Right,
you
right,
don't just
right,
go
right.
with whatever your partner says.
Right.
So it depends on how you deliver it. You could be like, babe, what they're saying they have a point.
Right,
something
right,
like that.
right.
So you could say that.
Right. I think it goes back to like how you say, but then I also think that loyalty of just like, you know, like, yo, babe, no, I know what she's saying. No, listen, I know what she's saying, but babe, and you know, like to balance it. Don't just be like, nah, you're completely wrong. Like you're wrong.
Yeah.
In front of people, that's kind of like.
The reason why I say that from both sides, because I have one thing that I know that I'm working to get better at is I have a very blunt, direct way of saying things. Like
Right.
for me, they know me. If you're wrong, I just be like, you're wrong.
Right.
Let's not go back. But I'm learning to be graceful.
Right,
To be, take her feelings. Because if she's arguing passionately, I don't think people that are not intelligent should argue. Yeah, that's what me I get. That's what me I get
That's
upset. 'Cause if you're not
true.
intelligent,
That's true.
now like, you're making me look stupid. And how you want me to endorse foolishness?
Argument is not
All right, no, it is. You're making it's a debate, and you are providing facts.
That's true. That's true. It's also opinion.
But I'm also the type of person that is facts over feelings. Like, don't give me your feelings. Give me evidence. Give me facts. Give me research. Don't just tell me how you feel. So sometimes I'm learning to be like, okay, babe, I understand you feel like that, but hey, this is the point, and they have. But this is why I actually bring that up, because there are some men that never correct their woman in public.
That's the
and for
problem.
me, because even I'll give you guys an example. Even the whole Devin Franklin and Megan Good, I felt like there were times where he could have told her, said, look, babe, they have a point. You don't have to put her down in public. I don't believe in putting your woman down.
Right.
But I also believe I believe in correcting someone no matter where it is. But you could say, just because you corrected someone doesn't mean, I just feel like people take every correction with in a harsh way.
Right,
so
right.
my thing is, so for you as women, that's why I asked, is it a turn off for y'all when the men correct you in public? Because I know a lot of men, like, we've done relationship essentials for a while. Like, the woman would say something crazy, and people are like, yo, she's wrong. And he's like, no.
Yeah,
It makes it look worse. I think it makes it look worse when you say something crazy and your partner doesn't say anything. Because everyone is looking at you now like both of you are crazy.
That's why I'd rather weak.
You be the one
man
to tell me, because I think you would take my feelings into consideration more than if the random person did that. But then in the flip side, how many men are comfortable with their woman correcting them in public? Because it can go both ways.
We're talking about.
No, but that's because nobody likes to. That's true. That's a big point. That's a point.
When a man doesn't want to be corrected in public.
They wouldn't like if it's all your guys and you are the one going in and your wife's like, no, actually, you see even your girl saying it. You know, it makes you feel like, dang, it just undermines.
Like you said, if it's drowning.
Just throw me small bone, like.
No. For me, like one thing I remember I was having a conversation with a girl I was dating. I'm like, look, if I'm in public, I can handle my own. If all of you want, if all the whole community want to disagree with me, I will be fine. I don't feel the need that you have to be on my side. Of course, don't be disrespectful.
Exactly,
but, you know, if anything, you should be, but don't feel the need. For me, I'm fine with a woman not agreeing with me.
Yes,
in public. I just feel like that's what makes us human beings.
Of course.
I feel like when a man or a woman don't feel the comfortable telling their partner, hey, you're wrong, that is a turn off. So I think men, you have to be comfortable not always being a yes man. It shouldn't probably be a woman. It doesn't mean that you don't love her if you tell her, hey, babe, I don't agree with that, with that statement.
Just to add, I also think that if you know that your partner is not an argumentative person, you should get into less argument when you're with her. Because sometimes when people, because you see how you're comfortable. You see how you're comfortable.
Maybe I need to work on that. I can argue. I'll argue about chair.
Exactly. Let's say the person that you're with is not someone that likes argument.
Right.
So whenever she's with you, control yourself to get into less argument. Because sometimes people that don't like argument get uncomfortable.
You call it argument, I call it intellectual debate.
So get into less intellectual debate when she's there, just so she's not uncomfortable. Because some people really get uncomfortable with that they don't know what to do. So just be mindful of who you're with. If there's somebody that likes to argue, then you guys could just argue till kingdom come.
And I think a good point too is I think another turn off, right, is like how the person handles conflict, right? Like that's a big issue, right? Like we're never gonna be rosy posy.
So which type of conflict resolution is a turn off?
When you just don't say anything, right? When it's like, oh, I want to talk about this. And then it's like,
what if he says, I don't want to talk about it right now?
Okay, no problem. You don't want to talk about it right now, but because
is it no problem? You guys will start following him around.
No, I will start following you around because
I'm following him around the room.
No, that one I like to just get it out. Like I understand some people like to process.
Okay,
some people like to
you
process.
follow him around the room.
I would be a little bit. I gotta put a little spice. I just feel like, because now it's bubbling. It's like, get it while I'm hot. Like, don't let it cool up. Because maybe the things that I want to say is like...
Write it, I've heard...
I don't want to write it. I want to say it. You gotta get the rap. And then when I cool off. Like, so I just feel like...
you can't cool off until you...
Yes, exactly. So now I'm just bubbling.
All right, so now the next question. Are you okay? Because I'm okay with you ranting. Is it okay with... After you've let it out, I say, okay, babe, I've heard you. Can we talk? We'll handle it later. Since you've let it out.
I feel like that could come up two ways. Like, I heard you, but I tuned you out. So I'm just saying that just to shut you up. Or it's like, you know what, babe? Like, I'm really tired. I really understand what you're saying, but let's talk about this later. Then I'm like, okay, I said what I said. Let me also give him his space. Right. So it just depends. Because I understand everyone's different. Some guys,
just shutting down is the turn off.
That's shutting down like, oh, I'm calling you, not picking up. Oh, no, I'll show up. Then we'll talk about this thing.
Show up. Yeah, you sound toxic.
No, I'm not... Just a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
She's a work in progress, okay?
Listen.
No, I love it.
No, it's true.
No,
you have to be real. I'm very real. People can sit there and be like, oh, I wouldn't do. You do it. Like, let's be real. When somebody's really bothered and you love the person, and it's like, why are you not picking up? Like, let me just get it out because I will bark, but I don't bite.
So
you know what I mean?
Like call 20 times?
No, I will just be like, okay, you're not picking up, no problem. But then when you cool off, when you want to talk about it, don't. You see, you have to give. No, I'm not petty. I'm not, and that's another thing. I don't like petty guys too. I'm not petty, right?
Okay.
But I feel like some guys, you'll say it, but they won't get it until after you've experienced how it feels. It's not nice. I don't like tick for tat, right? I think that's very childish and that's very petty and like, oh, because you did this, I'm gonna do this too. How old are we? Like, come on, we're not in competition.
Right.
But some people, when you tell them something, they don't get it. But when it's done to them, they don't like that. So some people, you have to study each person you're with. Some people, you tell them, babe, I don't like that, they'll get it. Some people, when it happens to them, then they feel it. Then it's like, you see what I'm trying to tell you. Like, when you don't, that's how I feel when you do that. Don't do that.
I have a spicy one for y'all.
When something is bothering me, I want to get it out. I won't be able to sleep well.
Right.
So if I call you, you don't pick up, I'm going to leave you a voicemail.
Right.
So because if I don't get it out, I'm not going to be comfortable.
Exactly.
I'm just going to be carrying it around and
real thinking about it. I'm getting even more mad because it's like, oh, now you're ignoring me.
As I am growing and realizing that your process will be different.
Exactly.
So I'm being mindful of, okay, if you don't work on stuff right away, I'll give you the time to do that. But my process is that I need to get it out right away.
Right.
So I need the listening
ear.
And you know what, also, too, I think that's a very good point to be paying attention to your partner, right? So if you know your woman, she just likes to say it, but she won't, after that, she'll let it, once I say it, I forget about it. I'm not the person to be like carrying it. Let me just say it, and then we'll move on, move on. Not a big deal. So if you know that that's the person you're with, let me just let her talk. Okay, I understand. Then we can move on. But if you two, you also want to be like, let me prove a point that I have. So somebody has to bend. In every relationship, I may have to bend and just bite the bullet that I won't be able to say what I want to say right now because he's in his mood. But nobody wants to be flexible. Nobody wants to adapt. So that's why people are always clashing in relationships.
Okay, all right. So, because I want us to get as many turnoffs as possible. So a man that handles conflict resolution by shutting down and not saying anything is a turnoff.
Yes.
Got it. One, this is a spicy one. Is a man that wants to split the bill on the first date a turnoff?
Yes.
Ooh, that's the biggest stingy.
Yes.
That's a big. That one you are out.
Hell yes.
You are out. Check, please.
Yes. There will be no second date.
There
I always
would.
say that.
Yeah.
Why?
On the first date, I've always believed it. I don't have any biblical way to back it up. I don't have facts to back it up. It's just my personal belief.
Yeah.
I think on the first date, the guy should pay, regardless of who asks people out. Because people be like, "What are people?"
Yeah.
If you ask,
I would never ask a guy
Right.
out on the first date. That is for sure. So, but even if that was the case, I was out of my mind and I did. I think the guy should always pay. I just think that it shows that one, you have interest, you're showing interest. Two, that you are taking this thing serious. That it costs you something, your money. That's just my reason.
I agree.
I just think you should pay. I'm not saying for like the whole rest of our dating life.
Right,
that you're gonna pay.
of course.
Maybe on the second date, I'll be open to splitting the bill.
Even that one.
But
are you sure? You guys are.
I'm not- no, that
are you
even the
sure you're
second one.
splitting- Are you sure you're open to
I
splitting the
said
bill on the
I'm
second
open.
date?
I
I'm
didn't
not
say
open.
I will. I'm open.
I think
How I feel.
that's a true thing too. Like, I think that stinginess is like, you can tell when like somebody is being very like, oh, like I think it's a turn off of a guy's like, oh, you ready to split it? So it's like, so
I will
you.
pay for it.
Let me ask a question.
I will pay for it.
Have a guy ever asked you to split the bill on the first date?
No.
No.
Okay. So,
But you know what I
pay
do?
for it.
I act like I take
so if a
out.
guy asked you to split the bill, you would just pay for everything?
No.
That would be you being the
Because I
master.
would never see him again.
Period.
I will
But I
pay
think
for
it's
the
nice
bill
to
and
like
leave.
kind of like, put your hand in your bag like you're about to. So then they're like, no. What do you like? Some even find it offensive. Like, no. But I won't just be sitting there like.
So women be pretending. They're not,
No,
they're not looking for anything in that bag. Yeah.
I'm not. I just want to see.
I'm okay with tipping on the first date. But
Even that,
that's it.
I feel like,
as far as
guys.
gets-
All right. So a man that doesn't want to pay on the first date.
Or
is
even
the
guys that are stingy. I don't like that
Yeah,
stinginess.
stingy,
Like that thing
stingy.
is like, I mean, people, even girls too. Like, I just don't feel like guys should be. All right, I'm the type of person. I don't think girls should be like, oh, let me just spend all his money. You also have money. You're working. Like, why should he just spend all his money on you? If he wants to, I think that's very sexy and attractive. He's like, oh, babe, go buy yourself some shoes. That's beautiful. I love that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be like, give me your credit card. Why aren't you giving me? Why aren't you paying
open
my?
to buying gifts for him?
Of course. Oh my God. Yes. Like
I think it's
totally.
just natural, like,
That's so beautiful. Like I bet.
If you see something that he likes, you're gonna be, oh,
Yeah.
and then you buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. Another turn off. Let's keep it going. 'Cause we have about 5 minutes to wrap up.
Another turn on.
We've touched on a lot, I think. And I honestly think, I
I
hope.
have a turn off.
Because like you said, hold on, as you said, a lot of men don't think they need to work on anything. And I really hope they listen to this podcast and listen and really take away, all right, when I get angry, I shut down. I need to at least still let her know that even though I'm not open to talking right now, that doesn't mean that I have not heard her.
Right.
Or if I ask her on the first date, I should show leadership and pay.
Right.
I really hope that these men take these things seriously. So let's give them a little bit more.
I think for me, one more is guys that feel like it's not masculine to do house chores.
That's a big one.
So if they don't think it's masculine,
To do the dishes.
that's very sexy. You see him washing dishes.
That's
It's like
sexy.
that's so sexy. Clean the plate. Like that's all.
I think it also plays because, my love language is acts of service. So you have to be able to do things for me to feel like you love me.
Right.
Like, so for you to think that it's not masculine to do dishes or do laundry,
Right.
that's
a big
I don't
one.
know how to process that.
I was gonna say another one that I think is a big turnoff is like if a guy just wants to sleep with you. Like I think that to me is a very big. Or they just want to have sex with you.
So I think this is a sensitive topic because a lot of times, which rightly so, women are always attacked for having high body count. So you're saying a man that have high body count is a turnoff. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like I don't like guys that's just like you don't like anything. You can just sleep with it and like you are you okay? Like you know what I mean? Like I just feel like. To me, I think those things are very, like, I feel like sex is such a thing that God created that's supposed to be done the right way. You know what I mean? But if you just want to be going out, because that means you don't have self-control or you don't have self-discipline.
Right.
So it kind of goes back to the point that, like, let's say you have to do a business trip and I'm not there because you are so used to just doing anything when we marry, it's not going to be like a switch off. You know what I mean?
Change.
Yeah. So it's like,
Right.
I'm a bit concerned. Like, can you control yourself?
Right.
So a man that's sleeping around is a huge turnoff.
Being that video had a lot of like views and they were asking for the female perspective. So I think now that we're here, we give it to them.
Yeah.
That guys that have high body count,
That's not,
it matters.
It matters, yeah, yeah.
It's not just the men that want, a woman with less body
right.
count. But women too, we also don't want a man that's like, you walk down the block.
And every girl's like, yeah, like that's
we
like.
We don't want that person either.
Right.
We also want you to exhibit self-control, show that, you value your body.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying that, if you're not a virgin, we're not going to consider you, but we also don't want to know that you are sleeping with everybody.
Right. And it also doesn't make me feel special, because that means that like, you've been with everybody, so I'm not really like a big deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I could, right? As opposed to like, I haven't been with that person, but I cherish you. I really like, you're somebody that I really want to invest in. It makes you feel special, just the way a guy would,
I've even heard women say things like, even if he didn't sleep with everybody he asked out, the fact that they know that he asked a lot of people out is still a turn off.
That's low key.
Yeah.
That's
is that true?
Yeah.
So if you know this guy asked, let's say, I bet in the Nigerian community, for example, is very small. Mm-hmm. Let's say, for example, he asked 5 of the, like maybe a lot of Nigerian girls out, a lot of the girls that you know out. Mm-hmm. Does that make him less desirable in your eyes? Yeah. Because he asked a lot of girls out?
Yes. That means
it just means that you just like everybody.
You know what?
Like,
what?
That's nothing about me stood out to you. I'm just another girl that you saw. I want to know that you have some sort of standard.
Thank you.
There's something that you are looking for, and that you know that. Because that's another thing. I want to be with someone that knows what they're looking for.
Exactly.
And they're not just, doing trial and error with me, right? Because then you're playing with my heart, and I don't want that. So I want to know that you know what you want.
Right.
And it's not just everybody that fits that category. Like, you have some sort of standard.
Right.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Give us your last take. Something men do that they probably think is attractive, but it's a huge turn off. Your last take.
This one is funny. Guys that work out at the gym with their shirts off.
Oh!
Yeah, come after your brother.
It's giving male stripper. It's giving male stripper.
When I walk
Adam was working at that.
It's like you just want to show that. Look at my chest.
This is why
oh my goodness.
To me, because I think they're trying to get attention.
Yeah, okay. Right.
This is now your personal gym. Other people are here too.
But typically, like guys that work out with no shirt, I wouldn't go to a gym where it's allowed. It's not just a random gym. Most gyms, they'll ask you to put your shirt on.
And some guys, and then the thing that you were asking him to make, the singlet thing that just
the stringers.
Oh, like the wife beater type of those.
Yeah.
It's barely covering anything. But I guess I'll just take that as opposed to just not wearing shirts. Like,
okay, so men that work out with no shirt on in the gym.
Oh my God, that's a big one. I said a lot. I would say like just guys that brag, like just overly brag about, I got this money, I got this. If you got it, I will like it will come up. Yeah, you don't have to show up like, I just dropped a K. I want 1K on this. It's like you want to impress somebody. Just be yourself. If you have it, cool. If you don't, I would I would like you for who you are, not just all these things. Don't think because you have money the person will like you. No,
right. I'm gonna say this one and we're gonna finish it, and I think you guys will like this. Men that think they're too good to worship.
Oh my God, that's.
Oh, I like that.
That's
men that think they're like you. Many times you go to church, men like it's like they're but the God for Jesus. It's like. Sister soldier. They are the soldiers of. They are the secret service of Holy Spirit. Like they are standing. Worship is going on, their eyes open, their arms are folded. They are basically watching everybody. I'm like, and honestly, some of them feel like it's feminine to worship or cry or just pour out your heart to God.
And that's the beautiful time, when to see a guy crying for the Lord or like worshiping God. Like that to me is the most beautiful thing is when a guy can worship the Lord like that, or even pray for you. Like, babe, I pray that you get like that will make me want to just like love you even more, because I really feel like you are aligned to God and you don't care about looking cute or masculine. It's like, I don't care. Like the same thing with girls. Take your eyelashes off, cry, take your heels off. Like that's beautiful.
Okay, I have one last one. One last one, and then we're gonna finish. You guys are gonna like this one too. Men that are afraid to show affection to their woman in front of their friends.
Oh,
that is a turn off.
That's a red flag.
That's a weak man.
That's a big one.
So if you think you're too good, you always want to be big boy, you always want to act like you don't like her, you always like bro, like stop.
Yeah, like
it's okay to show your affection to your woman, even in front of your friends. It's okay to, just to let your friends know, look, I am lovey-dovey.
Yes,
it's okay.
That's so cute.
Don't be out here being big boy. Then when you guys leave, you gotta be laid down on top of her.
Watching the Notebook.
But anyways, it was fun having y'all.
Yes,
you guys were great. You guys did share a lot of great points. I really hope people don't just take all this information and do nothing with it. The same information without application is only entertainment.
Yeah.
But information with application can lead to transformation. So I really hope more guys listen to this. Let us humble ourselves. We don't know it all.
Yes.
The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. There are ways you can improve so that your woman can love you even more. And she can feel loved even more, which is important. Because we all want our woman to feel loved, but sometimes the way we're going about it is the wrong way. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel at Relationship Essentials. Make sure you rate us, leave a comment, repost it, share it with friends. Let us get this great information out there to as many people as we can, because our goal is to make sure we see more godly relationships and not see people doing relationship the way culture and the way the world is encouraging us to do relationship, that we focus and build relationship on godly principles.
Amen.
Thank you. Enjoy the episode, and we will see you guys next episode.
Bye.
All right.